Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm John and I regularly post ukulele tutorials here on YouTube for all abilities. Today we're going to be looking in detail at how we go about tuning our ukulele. There are several different methods of tuning the ukulele. One way is to tune it to another musical instrument that you know is already in tune, like a piano or an electronic keyboard for example, but this depends on you having that instrument nearby when you need it, and also you need a relatively good musical ear in order to tune this way, and this takes practice in itself. So in this video we're going to look at two much easier options, one of which will be using a free app on a smartphone and the other will be using what we call a clip-on tuner. Before we look at these tuning options, the actual tuning of the strings on the ukulele, starting on the string nearest your face when holding the ukulele to the string nearest the floor when we pick each string open, so without any fingers on the fretboard, should be G, C, E and A. And this ukulele is already in tune, so I know these notes are correct. So I'll repeat that again slowly. The string nearest our face, played open, is a G. And for anyone that already plays another instrument, this is the G above middle C, this note on a piano keyboard. Then the string physically below the G string is a C, and this is middle C, this note on the piano. The string below the C string is an E, and this is the E above middle C, this note. And lastly, the string nearest the floor is an A, and this is the A above middle C. So the lowest string in pitch on our ukulele is the C string, the third string from the floor, and all of the other strings are slightly higher in pitch. On most stringed instruments like guitar and mandolin for example, the strings get progressively lower in pitch the nearer that they are to our face on the fretboard. But in standard ukulele tuning, the nearest string to our face, the G string, is actually higher in pitch than the string below it. And this is where the ukulele gets its unique, and some say happy sound from. This is what is known as reentrant tuning. There's also another type of tuning known as low G tuning, and this is where the G string, the string nearest our face, would be the G lower than middle C, and hence lower in pitch than the C string. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to be looking at standard ukulele tuning, or reentrant tuning, or also often referred to as C tuning. It's also worth noting here that this tuning generally applies to the three standard ukulele sizes of soprano, concert and tenor. The baritone ukulele, however, uses a different tuning, and I'll leave that for another video. So once again, to reiterate, the strings in order from nearest our face to the floor should be G, C, E and A. And it might be worth using some kind of mnemonic in order to remember this. For example, good children eat apples. G, C, E, A. So when you get your first ukulele, be it new or second-hand, it will almost definitely not be in tune, and you're going to need to tune it. It's also worth noting that it's probably going to keep going out of tune for a little while, as ukulele strings stretch, especially when they're new, and they take a while to settle. So you're probably going to have to retune your strings after playing for a little while, and also each time you go back to play your ukulele. I would say on average that new strings take up to 2 or 3 hours of actual playing time to fully settle in, and even then you'll still ideally need to regularly check your tuning and make minor adjustments each time you play it. Now the ukulele I've just been using is already in tune, so it's not going to be much use for demonstrating the tuning methods. So I'm going to swap it here with a brand new entry-level ukulele that's just come out of its box. And if I play the individual strings or strum them, you'll hopefully be able to hear that it's horribly out of tune. Generally, and especially with a brand new ukulele, the strings will be looser than they should be when they're in tune, and we're going to have to tune them up to get them into pitch. We tune the strings by adjusting the tuners here at the headstock, and it should be obvious which tuner adjusts which string by looking at which tuning post each string is tied around. By playing the individual string whilst turning the tuner, you should be able to hear it getting sharper or going up in pitch if I turn it in that direction, and if I turn it in the other direction, you should be able to hear it getting flatter or lower in pitch. So let's firstly look at tuning with a free app on a smartphone. And for the sake of this video, I'm going to be using an app called insTuner, which is available for both iPhone and Android and can be downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store and is completely free. There are many other tuning apps available, and I'm sure a quick search will turn up lots of results. But out of all the ones I've tried, I personally like this one the best. The way these apps work is by listening to your instrument through the phone's microphone and then giving you feedback as to the adjustments you make whilst tuning it. So you should now be able to see the app open on my phone, and basically you have a dial at the bottom 2/3 of the screen with all the musical notes on it, with a needle that moves around looking for the individual notes that we're playing. It's here that we're initially trying to get the needle to be as close as possible to the note that we're tuning the string to. In the top third of the screen you have the fine tuning area, which helps you get the string to the exact pitch that we're looking for. So if I pluck the string nearest to my face and look what it says on the dial, I've got an F sharp, so that's quite close to G. G being the next note I'm looking for, as you can see. And if I turn the tuner until I get closer to the G, a little bit further, getting closer, closer, and when I get to the G, you can see I get a green bar across the top saying got it. And I'm in tune. So now I'm going to tune the next string down, which I want a C for. So I play the string. Oh, that sounds very low, and it's saying A flat at the moment, so I need to go up a little way. I keep turning the tuner. B flat, near B, a little bit further, and I'm coming up to the C now, and hopefully you can see I'm in tune with a C now. Now once you've tuned your ukulele a few times, you'll only be making minor adjustments, not quite such big ones as I'm doing now. So the next string I want is an E, so I play the string, and it says between B and C, so I want to go up from that, so up to C, C sharp, moving a bit further to D, up past E flat hopefully, and I'm getting closer to E now. Slow down a bit as I get towards it, and hopefully you can see that's now set at E. Last string, the A string, so I'm looking for an A, play the string, do that again. At the moment it's saying F or F sharp, so I go up, moving slowly up, coming up towards G, moving up more to A flat, a little bit further, and there you can see I'm in tune with the A. Now because this is a new ukulele and the strings will be new and stretching, it's probably gone out of tune already, so I'm just going to recheck the tuning. So I go back to the G, and you can see that's already slightly out, so I'm just going to turn it gently to get it back into pitch. G, then I'm going to play the C string, and that's slightly down as well, so turn it until we go up to C, a little bit more, there we go, C, then the E, that sounds pretty close, just a tiny bit more, and I'm in tune with that, and finally the A, and again just a tiny adjustment. Now as I say, this is a new ukulele, so the strings are still stretching, so after playing just for a few minutes I'm probably going to need to retune it. But the good news is the more time you spend playing it, these tuning adjustments will be smaller and smaller until you often don't need to make them at all. So that's how you tune your ukulele with a smartphone app. The pros for this are it's free if you own a smartphone, and you'll generally have your phone with you everywhere you go. It's also pretty accurate. The cons: it only really works well if you're on your own in a quiet space. Otherwise it will be picking up on other noises in the room that will potentially distract it from hearing just your ukulele. So unlike the smartphone app, a clip-on tuner like this works by clipping the tuner onto the headstock of your ukulele, and instead of it listening to your ukulele with a microphone, it detects the vibrations from the individual string and converts that into the note's frequency, which is then displayed on the screen. So this method of tuning is perfect for a busy room with other people talking or playing instruments, etc., as it's just getting its information directly from the instrument it's clipped to. Like the smartphone tuner app, there's also lots of different makes and models of these available, varying in both functionality and price. Price-wise at the moment, you're probably looking at roughly between £10, $10 and £30, $30 for the more expensive makes and models. I would imagine that they're all pretty similar electronics inside, but I've definitely found some to be more accurate and user-friendly than others. In my opinion, many of them come with far too much functionality, and in reality, you just need a tuner that can tune chromatically, which pretty much all of them can. Chromatically means that it can detect all 12 notes in the chromatic scale, and hence can be used to tune any stringed instrument. Admittedly, you only need it to detect the notes G, C, E and A, are open strings, but having the possibility of tuning to or checking other pitches could prove useful at a later point. Many tuners, like this one for example, will have settings for specific instruments like violin, guitar, banjo and ukulele, as well as a chromatic setting. And these settings are normally represented with a letter, G for guitar, B for banjo, V for violin, etc. For tuning your ukulele, you need it either set to be on the U for ukulele setting, where it will just be looking for the notes G, C, E and A, or C for the chromatic setting, where it's looking for all 12 notes, including the G, C, E, A that you need for the ukulele. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be using a Snark rechargeable tuner, which I'll put an Amazon link to in the video description below, and at the time of recording this was about £16 sterling or $20 US to buy. I particularly like this model as you can recharge it via a USB cable and you don't have to regularly replace a coin style battery like many models still use. It holds its charge for a long time and has a big high resolution colourful display that rotates 360 degrees for easy viewing from any angle, and it has a rubberized coating which is gentle on your ukulele, and also it stops any annoying rattles that I've experienced with cheaper tuners in the past. It's completely chromatic and has no specific instrument settings, just a button for on and off. So let me just grab another ukulele out of its box that definitely won't be in tune, and I'll go through the same process with the Clip-onTuner. So yep, once again horribly out of tune, and hopefully you can now see this clearly on the screen. So once again this tuner is entirely chromatic, so it's looking for all 12 notes, but I just need to know the 4 notes that I'm tuning to. So if I pluck the string, it looks like it's saying C sharp, and I want to go up to G, so I'm going to turn the tuner and go past D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, a little bit further, G being the next note, and you can see I'm now coming up to G. Keep turning the tuning peg until I get just the green light to light at the top without any other colours either side of it. A little bit further, and it looks like I'm there now. Now I play the next string, which should be a C, and that's definitely down below C. Looks like an A sharp, tuning to B. I'm coming up to C, I'll come back down a bit, go back up to that, C, and again, a little bit further, until we just get the green at the top. So that's in tune. So then now I'm tuning the next string, which will be an E, and again, looks like I need to go up, so I'm tuning up, D, D sharp, a little bit further, now I'm coming up to E now, and once again got to get it up so it's just got the dial right right at the top, the needle right at the top. I'm not getting any other colours either side. So that's now in tune. So lastly, the string nearest the floor, which should be an A, and at the moment it's saying F, so I need to turn the tuning peg because I need to go up, past F, past G, and back to where the musical alphabet starts again at A. So turning up, there's G, keep going past G, G sharp, so it's just past that, so I should start to see A now, and then keep turning up, tuning up, until that's just gone a bit too far, come back, and now we're in tune there. And as with the tuning app, when tuning in these new strings, I'm probably already out of tune again, so I'm going to go back to the G string, and yet you can see I'm slightly flat, so I need to just tweak that up. Then the same with the C. That one's alright, it's pretty close, so I'll just stay there with that. E, very slightly down again, so back up to E, and lastly the A, which I've just tuned, so it should be pretty close, but just a tiny bit there. And we're now in tune. So that's how you would tune with a clip-on tuner. There's one final thing about another functionality that's often featured on clip-on tuners and can cause tuning issues to somebody starting out. If you see the numbers 440 or similar on the screen, which I'm just going to do there, this is for pitch calibration, and you should never need to change this unless it's changed accidentally. So it should remain set at 440 Hz, which is what's known as concert pitch, and almost all modern instruments are tuned to this frequency. So if it says anything other than 440, like say 432 or 446, you'll need to adjust it back to 440. Otherwise you'll be very slightly out of tune to everyone else you play with. So that brings us to the end of this somewhat detailed tutorial on tuning our ukulele. If you made it this far, congratulations, and I hope you enjoy playing your newly tuned ukulele. If you found this tutorial helpful or have any questions, please leave a comment, give the video a thumbs up, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, as I regularly post video tutorials for ukulele at all different levels. If you feel like supporting my work here on YouTube, feel free to buy me a coffee. See how to do so in the link in the video description below, or alternatively join me over at my Patreon site where all my tutorials and accompanying materials can be found in one place. The link for this can also be found in the video description below. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.